Hey, I'm Eric Rokeach with FitnessBusinessInterviews.com, and I'm excited to have Dave Parise here with me. Now, Dave is a pioneer in the industry. He's become one of the top 20 personal trainers in the U.S., and he has what seems like every certification out there. And what's cool is he's also known as the trainer's trainer, training over 5,000 fitness pros. He's one super bright guy. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to the training side of things, but he's also one of the brightest when it comes to business. Dave owns Results Plus, a studio in Connecticut that has become one of the most successful in the country, and Dave has been cool enough to come on today and share his story about how he got to where he is and how his business has grown to the level it's at. So Dave, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Eric. Hey, in regards to that top 20, remember, I haven't met the other 40 million trainers out there, so it was one organization that just happened to give me that title, so to speak. But hey, everybody's an individual. Everybody's their own boss, so to speak. So everyone's a great trainer. It's just it's what you do with it and the action that you provide once you hit the industry.
Very cool. Very nice of you to say that too. So I want to start off because you do have an amazing business going there. Just so people know, I kind of want to know generally what type of revenue are you generating for your business?
Wow, pack the punch. First question.
Yeah.
When you talk about revenue, if you're referring to gross revenue for Results Plus, I obviously always talk about that. I don't want to get into the ins and outs of specific finite fixed costs, but
right.
You talk about gross revenue. We average right now in the upper 80s per month.
Okay.
Except for December. December seems to drop off to about 50,000 a month, but on an average, we do anywhere between 85,000 a month.
Okay. How long has it taken you to get to that level?
Well, I've been here. This July will be 26 years, so it's a really good question, multifaceted question. I always said that we're not kind of wired at birth to allocate capital, or it's like a 1 in a million thing. You either got it or you don't. So we're not born CEOs. We're not born investors. When you talk about in a business aspect, we're going to talk just about business. When you achieve greatness, it's an enormous amount of smart work over many years. It's sort of a innate ability to do something, some specific activity especially well. So I always, what I like to say, especially in some of the seminars I do for Fit Pro Academy, is that it's nice to believe that you find a field that we're naturally gifted and someday will be great, but it really doesn't happen. You got to reinforce that there's no free lunch. The most accomplished people need about 10 years. There's a 10-year rule of hard work before becoming a world-class pattern.
Right.
That's well established. So even in music and literature, elite performers, athletes, they need 10 to 20 years experience before hitting what you and I call the zenith or the pinnacle. So greatness isn't handed to anyone. It requires a lot of hard work. It's an ongoing process, a chain of events that lead to a specific greatness in regards to business. So it's not really how long, it's like what happened, that journey, what happened, the specific finite chain of events that happened along the last 10 years that really made it hit.
Okay, now I know the facility is around 5,000 square feet. When you first got into the business and you opened a facility, was it at 5,000 or did you expand to that size?
No, actually, same building, but it was actually 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
And I did that for 10 years. But here's the irony. We grew out of that 1,000 square feet in about 5 years. And I had about 6 or 7 trainers in 1,000 square feet. It was pretty tight, so we had to be very specific and finite on how we worked together as a team. Because, in personal training, there is no waiting for equipment, et cetera, et cetera. So we made it work. And then we expanded because I knew going into the space that there was a space available this lease was up, and I knew the person was not going to renegotiate his lease. So I took the space knowing that in 5 to 10 years I would be able to expand to a 5,000 square foot facility.
Okay, so you took that lease, and the other space that you had, you just weren't even using it. You were just holding it until you were able to fill it in.
Yeah, I had the 1,000 square feet,
right.
knowing that above me was 5,000 square feet that was going to be available in 5 to 6 years, and knowing that, I basically stuck with the 1,000 square foot, and as soon as that lease was up, I immediately moved upstairs into 5,000 square feet.
Okay. And how many trainers do you currently have?
Right now I have, let's see, 11. We have 9 full-time and 2 part-time.
Okay. Now I know that you're really big on training and having incredible trainers. Since that's the case, what's the hiring process like for you to bring in a new trainer?
Well, the hiring process usually, I could give you an example. We had 45 applicants. I mean, I usually go through a lot of the websites like wellness.com and fitnessjobs.com, etc., and pick people that way. Nothing local has ever really worked. But when we do find someone, we had about 45 applicants last month. Out of the 45 applicants during the interview process, which is done on the floor, there's no sit down. It's not about a piece of paper. It's really about when they walk in the door, are they well groomed? Do they speak well? Do they have a great personality? And then I want to see their application process. Out of those 45, we found about 3. 2 of them were trainable, and we hired 1. That gives you an example of the average of what's out there. So the hiring process is a little different in regards to, the typical interview is a face-to-face interview in an office. We don't do that. It's right on the floor, and let's go over biomechanics.
Okay. How long does it take for them until they're out actually training on their own?
Well, it's really application. So certification, it helps. The client wants to know, but the hands-on application is really knowing the difference between gym talk and exercise science is critical. That's another part of that process. So when we hire those trainers, I would say it's about 15 hours of hands-on, then 30 hours of shadowing, and then from there we call in past clients. So think about that one, everybody. Right. We have a chance to get old business back. So we bring in past clients who know our program, they know our process. We have the trainee train the past client. And I would say after that process, once they're officially hired, I'd say it would be about 30 days. They'll have 6 to 10 clients of their own within 30 days. And again, whether they're working morning shift, evening shift, or double shift, etc.
Okay, now I'm curious. You said you bring in past clients. How do you get them to come back in, especially if you have a new trainer that's going to be working with them?
Well, the first process is that we go through. We always keep a list of past relationships. So we'll go through the list and we'll know the people that have stayed repeatedly and renewed. So in other words, I don't like any one-hit wonders. We're not going to call them back. We all know who they are. But I'll see some clients that were with me for 3, 4, 5 years that left the program after 3 or 4 or 5 years. We'll call them up and say, Mr. Jones, we have a new trainer. You know the program. How would you like to come in for a free workout? Well, let me preface this one thing. We never, ever give free workouts. We'll only give a free workout because you know what your product's worth when you give something away for free. But we only give a free workout to the past clients. It's a chance for them to get back and get reacclimated with the Results Plus program, meet the new trainers, see what's new on the floor, meet the new trainee, and get pumped and psyched and stoked in regards to getting back on the program. And that's basically how we do it. We just send out an email, send out a phone call. Can you be here too? We remember that they used to come in 10 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturday morning at 7 a.m. So we bring them in that same time. We bring the trainer in. We establish the relationship. By the time they get off the door and they go, wow, I really missed this. And by the way, your trainer is really good. Really was a stickler on my form and my posture, and he stopped me when I did something incorrect. He assessed every repetition. I love him. Can I work with him again? Sure. 18 visits, done. So 9 times out of 10, we get a new client back as well.
Very cool. Now, I know that you keep your trainers for, 3 to 4 years. Generally, most trainers, if they're in a facility, it's 1 to 2 years. That's longer than most. What are you doing to keep them happy and keep them there longer?
Well, actually, it's more like 5 to 8 years.
Wow.
Here's the thought process. Treat people the way you want to be treated. So, okay, shoot me. But my trainers are worth more than my clients, period. You can always get clients. It's the qualitative trainer that's 1 in a million. So that's really my thought process there. Listen, if somebody asks for some time off, you give it to them. If somebody asks to take some vacation to visit a family, you give it to them. Yes, there's proper notice. There's one hand washes the other. But I really don't decline on any special request because anything, when you have a small, tight niche facility, 5,000 square feet, one-on-one, and there's 9 trainers and 9 clients on the floor, just think about it. If I did anything out of line where I put down the trainer, embarrassed them in front of a client, did not let them have a weekend free with their girlfriend in New York City because they just wanted to get away and blow off some steam, how would that make them feel, and how would that reflect their actions on the floor? They would vent to the client. That makes us look bad. And then the client basically will have to listen. The client doesn't want to listen. They're there for themselves in their workout. So now they're not getting the service that they paid for. They come to the front desk. It's a vicious cycle. You know what you say? When you have great service, you tell a few friends. And when you have poor service, you vent to the world. And that's my attitude when it comes to how to treat people.
Very cool. And I think that's probably the main reason why you keep them so long. You just treat them the way they want to be treated. Very, very cool. Now, there's a lot of people who are listening who are at the point where they're looking to hire their own trainers. What should they look for in that hiring process?
Well, here's my take on personal training. Knowing what's in a textbook is far from being a great trainer. So we don't want to look for that. That's number one. Is that important? Yes. Knowledge is power, but only when it's provided with an action. So the program, it's all about a commitment to the process of learning. Exercising, having big guns, looking great is cool, but not going to create the revenue stream that you desire as a business owner. So, and the typical taking clients from machine to machine in a one-size-fits-all environment is far from personal training. So, a lot of trainers, they exercise, they pass a test, but it doesn't make them a great trainer. No more than getting my driver's license makes me a great driver. So the question you're asking is kind of complex, but it's really about having the knowledge to recognize talent and professionalism. So if I meet someone with a clean look and practice what they preach, and they have a willingness to learn, an extensive background in anatomy, human movement, human performance, hasn't been tainted by the gyms and fitness centers and the one-size-fits-all application, then we do our best to develop a results plus qualified trainer. Because, again, qualified and certified are two entirely different spectrums. We meet a lot of certified trainers. We don't meet too many qualified trainers. They're all, one size fits all, cookie cut kind of thing.
And with your business, you've been big with one-on-one training for years. Now everybody's talking about semi-private and group training. Have you gone in that direction, or do you still focus one-on-one with your studio?
No, great question, Eric. I strictly one-on-one private. Personal training. There it is, hence the word, private, professional, personal. The focus is always on the client and only the client. That's the way it should be. That's personal training. I don't like group settings. One reason I don't like group settings is you lose the touch. You can't assess everyone. The quality declines. Look what happens to franchises. Proper biomechanics decline. Liability goes up. So I'd rather keep it personal and private. And then when you do that, think about the country club analogy. When you do that, you get the person who demands the highest quality of all aspects of their lives. Putting it simply, they can afford it. It is a necessity. It is not a luxury. I don't want clients that think it's a luxury. I'm going to hire a trainer just so they could go out on a Friday night and tell their buddies that they have a trainer. I want somebody who looks at it and says, I have no choice, and I'm going to pay the $7,000 a year to go to Results Plus because I know I'm going to get the service that's going to exceed my expectations, and I'm going to get the one-on-one professional private surroundings, cultured private surroundings that are going to lead me to exactly where I want to be. And that's always been my thought process.
What are your thoughts on everybody, the gurus, saying one-on-one training is dying, or the death of one-on-one training?
Whoa! Who said that? Where's that coming from?
Let's just say I hear it around.
I have never heard that. Death on one-on-one personal training. So what is the replacement? When you don't have that one-on-one consultation, what's the replacement? How are we doing this?
Right.
What have you heard?
Well, I've just heard that, because more money is in groups. Obviously, you could charge less. You can treat more people. That one-on-one, you got it.
Boot camps.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're looking to bring more people in a space and charge a lot less
to
make the same. That's the way I look at it. I don't know about the depth of one-on-one, but I can tell you one thing right now. My business soared when the economy went down.
Really?
And I said I couldn't understand it. My business in the last 3 years has been the best it's ever been in the last 25 years. And I opened up in 1985. And I can't understand why my last 3 years have been record-breaking revenues. And I haven't really done anything differently. Just continue the customer service. But I started to poll people, and they started saying, I don't go on these crazy vacations with my family anymore, and I'm depressed, and I have stress. And what's the only thing that's going to take care of depression and stress? I have to get into an exercise program and improve the quality of my life today. I can't wait. So basically, they're not spending the $7,000 to go into Europe, and they're spending the $7,000, and they're getting a full year here. So I think it's really, I really think there's a huge benefit on staying focused in that one-on-one training aspect. But I could understand the thought process of trainers who are in the gyms and fitness centers and in the wrong demographic market, saying that the economy is going down, we're going to have to start doing group stuff to make the same kind of money. So I understand where they're getting that idea, but I disagree. If you give the quality service and you have the right market of people coming to you, I go up every year on my rates, and I haven't seen a decline.
You're also in a pretty wealthy market. I mean, I know I lived in Fairfield County, so I know the area pretty well. You're a little bit outside of that, but do you think that that plays a role in how well your business is doing?
Hey, I can tell you this: I'm nowhere near Fairfield County, and I apologize for that. I'm in near New Haven,
out there.
I'm in Hamden, New Haven, Wallingford, Cheshire. You can look that up. I'm not in a great market at all. I have a lot of clients that come from the Hartford area, West Hartford area. I only have 2 or 3 clients from Fairfield, but the majority of my clients are from Woodbridge, Hamden, North Haven, Wallingford, Cheshire, all within like a 20, 25-mile radius.
Okay. Now let's talk about operating your facility. You had to start off by finding a good spot. Let's say someone's looking for a facility. What's one of the things they should do when trying to find their own place?
First thing I would suggest, who's your market? What is your market? What are you looking for? What major corporations are within 3 to 5 miles? Where's the nearest highway? Easy access on and off. The triple location theory. Based on that location, what's the rent and fixed cost average versus the client retainer? Certain demographic areas will depending on what the market bears. As like you said, as you go towards Fairfield County, New York City, you could charge anywhere from $85 to $125 an hour. Down in Hamden, unfortunately, our top rate is $65 an hour. So it really depends on your market area. What does the market bear in regards to professional fees? And then my biggest one, which I really love, is who's my enemy or competitor. Mm-hmm. I try to bring them really close to me. The closer my competitor / enemy, so to speak, art of war, the better I do. So I try to stay in that area where a big name or another competitor will be.
A lot of people may be afraid of that. Why exactly do you do that?
Oh, I love that. I love that. It's the Burger King I'll go old school. It's the Burger King McDonald's analogy. Every time you see a McDonald's, where do you see across the street?
Burger King.
The street, a cup. Yeah, of course. And you have a choice, and may the better man win, so to speak. And I have a lot of confidence in what we're doing. So if there's a huge gym and fitness center in the area, I don't really look for that, but because gym fitness trainers versus what we do is total opposite of the coin. There's absolutely no comparison. But if you have other private training studios that are doing exactly what we do, I like to keep them close to me. Not to spy and know what they're doing. I just want to keep them close to me. So when someone does come around, they go, "Hey, I have about 3 or 4 places that I'm interviewing," and I said, "Do me a favor, make me the last. Do whatever you got to do. Get the best rate you can, because we're not going to talk money. We're going to talk about benefits. We're not going to talk features. We're going to talk about benefits. What are you going to get out of the program, and why?" So that's kind of my whole thought process, and it works. I never show equipment. I never give tours. It's just a bunch of furniture. It's how you use it. So I think about that when I talk about looking for an area. I try to do as much research as I can and find out what's in that area before I go into that area.
Okay. And speaking of equipment, when you're looking for a facility, what type of equipment would you be looking for if you were to get a new location up and running?
It's kind of a matter of preference. I could say this general statement. However, I don't like any fixed environments, any type of machine, pin select. Just melt them down and sell them to Carnival Cruise Lines as an anchor. Because those things, predictable outcomes. When we talk about proper joint articulations, the body was designed to move freely. We know this as personal trainers. And personally, when was the last time a client asked you for major muscle hypertrophy of the anterior delt?
Right.
There's absolutely no revenue streams with bodybuilders. There's absolutely no revenue streams, I hope I don't offend anyone, with athletes, unless you're working a professional athlete, unless you're working out with an athlete who goes to a private school and the parents, hired you to do this program, so to speak. But on a regular basis, that's not where the revenue streams are. So I guess the exercises that you're doing as trainers and as far as equipment should be created based on postural and musculoskeletal imbalances, not painted on canvas by a paint by number rent-a-buddy in a gym. It's not about leg extension, which is a waste of time. It's not about walking lunges, which is a waste of time. But it's more about figuring out anatomical landmarks, figuring out what's tight, short, and facilitated that needs to be lengthened, elongated. What's weak that needs to be strengthened. What employee, what corporate man, woman does not have upper cross syndrome? We all have it. So what are you doing? Why are you doing chest press with this person? So it's not about buying the equipment. It's really about figuring out the body and what has to be done to correct the body so the body can work more efficiently and get more into that neutral posture. And that's kind of how we create it. We have, as far as equipment, of course I have some free motion machines, but we have no fixed machines whatsoever.
Okay, very cool. I agree with you 100% with that. Now, you've been in your facility for quite some time. Obviously, you're doing well. You understand what the landlord wants. He's happy with what you're doing there. I've heard some nightmares and horror stories with horrible landlords, but what are you doing to keep that landlord happy?
Well, how do you develop a good relationship with your landlord?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay. Number one, never call them, period, or complain. If you have a life-death situation, find a solution. Write it down. Send it in a certified letter. Then ask it. Ask for a meeting. As an example, we have a flat roof. Worst mistake in the world. I had a lot of water in my facility this winter. Bottom line is, here's what you do. You basically call a roofer. You get an estimate. Okay, I know this is not, people are out there listening saying, well, that's not my job, that's the landlord's job. If you have that kind of attitude, you're not going to get anywhere. Take it upon yourself to make the calls, talk to people, get something in writing, get 3 or 4 different, you'll do it 10 times faster than landlord, by the way. So, get your estimates, see how the roof can be repaired. Then you present these estimates. And for going beyond the call of duty for your landlord and saying, here's the leaks, you take some pictures, you submit some pictures, and that's what I did, and I got a new roof. Versus calling up and saying, my roof's leaking, blah, 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 and complaining all the time. So I just found out, treat your landlord like a client. How's that? In any relationship, treat them like a client, and it works. I've been here 26 years. As I'm speaking right now, they're putting in a new parking lot, a new sewage system right outside of my parking lot as I'm speaking, because I had it assessed, because every time it rained, it used to overflow. These are things that we don't think of as trainers when you're in a facility. These things will definitely decrease your business if you don't have proper parking. If you inconvenience a client, they can't get into your driveway because of rain, or it's not plowed in time, it's not sanded, there's so many little things that we don't think of as trainers. It's not build it and people will come. There's all these things to think of. So, just basically go above and beyond the call of duty when it comes to relationships, and you'll always get respect.
When it comes to rent for your facility, are there certain types of leases that are better than others?
Well, from the start, I found that the 3-year lease with an option to renew worked the best. And again, listen, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not going to take a 1-year lease, because that tells myself there might be a chance that I'm going to go out of business. I like to take chances in everything that I do. Do something that scares you every day but won't kill you is my attitude. So, I'll do a 3 year with an option to renew. Also, I set my own increase over time. It's all about negotiating. If you and I owned a building and we know we're going to charge $1,000 a month, and someone comes up to us and says, "I'll give you 900 a month, but I'll give you $100 increase every 2 years," we probably would take it. So it's really about negotiating. So I offered $200 more every 3 years. So 3 years, option to renew, extra 200, and it's worked. It's worked ever since. I have an amazing rent here. I've been here for 26 years, and it fits right into the plan because I knew what my net revenue streams could quite possibly be. So I worked to establish that based on the rent that I pay.
Okay, now are there any others that like types of rents that you had thought about or tried or would just completely never even do?
No, well, this is only because I only have one place. I've been at the same location for the last 26 years.
Okay.
I'm not sure how it has changed over the last 26 years, but I would never sign a lease for a year. Listen, man, I'm in it for the long run. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in the trenches here, so I want to make sure I can establish my marketplace and my niche, and I want to make sure that nobody else is going to take this location.
Okay. Anything else people should be aware of if they're opening up their own facility?
Yeah, once you find a location, you need to bring people in the door. So, you know, I would say never charge less than you're worth. Never offer a free visit. There's a lot of things you could do as far as marketing and service. Um, if you want me to just go off on a tangent, I could explain that the thing you have to do when you open up a facility, number one, is you got to think like a business person. Make 50 calls per day. Do local talks on fitness. Whether it is a chamber, whether you join the chamber and do talks there, or an accountant firm, the bar association, a women's organization. You basically go in and you volunteer your services. Last week I talked to the American Dental Association. I got 2 one-year members. I spoke for 2 hours. I walked out with $12,000.
Wow.
Okay, 2 clients, 1 year each. So it's really about in-house service. Dazzle and amaze clients with service. Do whatever it takes to help them reach their goals. That's what brings the clients in the door. It's, again, I use it all the time. It's far from build it and they will come. It's really about giving people more than they expect to get, exceeding their expectations. And that's really what it's about. I never go out and look for service unless I'm doing a talk here and there. I do not go outside. I do not advertise, especially media, especially print, especially radio, etc. It doesn't work. Besides my website and a few other things, I really go in-house service. If you service the people you have inside, then obviously that's going to translate into more and more clients. It's all about word of mouth.
Okay, if you're not doing any advertising or anything like that, is there any type of marketing that you are doing besides just word of mouth?
It's 80%. Besides doing a talk, like I try to do at least 2 talks a month. I mean, I'll just go out and there'll be a women's organization. They're having a small lunch at a local restaurant in the area. They have 15, 20 women who are going to have a lunch, and they want me to come in for a half hour and talk about exercises on posture, or talk about the truth about exercise, what exercises in the gym that you should stay away from, or corrective exercises because of their lack of a better word, poor posture in the workplace because they're all sitting all day on the computer, etc., neurologically exhausted. So I might go and talk about that, or talking about nutrition. Other than that, no, it's all in-house. It's all in-house, 100%. I'll give you an example, Eric.
Sure.
I had a new client that joined the other day. They didn't have a great breakfast. They almost passed out. I had very low blood sugar. We did the necessary steps to bring back up his blood sugar, had him lay down, etc. On the way out, we talked a little bit, took an extra time to talk a little bit about his eating pattern. It was probably the worst I've ever seen in 25 years. He left here. I mean it. Come on, you don't have a scone and a coffee before you come and work out at Results Plus. This doesn't work. Okay, so bottom line is he left here with a grapefruit, a can of tuna, some brown rice, a shaker with 2 scoops of whey protein. I put it in a little gift bag for him, and I said, here. And I spaced it out and I said, here's how I want you to eat this. He felt like $1,000,000. Then he comes back and he gives it back to me. He goes, you want to know something? He goes, you saved my life. Not only that, but I went onto your website. I pulled up the publications on how to eat properly. I space my meals every 2.5 to 3 hours. I don't feel like slamming my head down on the desk at 3:30. And by the way, I've only been here 2 weeks and I've lost 4 pounds.
Awesome.
Now, I told my brother about this. My brother's going to give you a call. There it is, people. I mean, there it is. Come on. Why are you spending $1,100 on a half a page ad? Why are you doing flyers? Why are you doing? I don't believe in any of that. How many times have I've done direct mail? It doesn't work. I've done email blasts. 90% of them are deleted before they're even read. I'm telling you, if you have a business, stay inside your business, get on the floor, talk to the people, shake their hands, kiss a couple babies. That's what works, man. It works 100%. I have clients that are out sick. We send them flowers. I have another client out sick. Every trainer signs a birthday card, sends it out. Or we do all email Hallmark card online. It's all about customer service. They'll never, ever get that anywhere else they go. They'll remember us.
And that's huge right there. That's
huge.
That's
it's
really
huge. You don't think about it. I went to my other trainer. He never gave me a card. He never said happy birthday.
Right.
We play happy birthday songs on over the air when they're training, when it's their birthday. They leave with a protein muffin with a candle in it. I mean, give me a break. Nobody does this kind of stuff, and that's not expensive.
No.
That's the beauty of it. It's not expensive to do this.
That's very cool. Now, when you first opened your facility, it was probably a little bit harder. Were you doing things like that, and what were you doing to bring clients in when you first opened?
Same thing.
Okay.
Literally. To the T. I'll say it again. Exactly what I'm saying. That when I first opened, I came from the gym atmosphere where I had about 10 clients at a local fitness center. Decided to open up. Great story. I actually met the owner of the Hartford Whalers hockey team, and he was a client of mine. And he said, you got to get out of here. You just got to do your own thing. And I took his advice. And back in the early '80s, and I did it. And I went on my own, so to speak. And I took about 6 clients with me. I didn't advertise. That they brought in their financial planners, they brought in their CPAs. If there's somebody out there listening to this, call, get your CPA, get the most recognized CPA in your area, and work them out and get their body to change. Believe me, who knows more people than a CPA?
Right, absolutely.
No one. So I hired, I got a guy who I hired him actually after I trained him, but I worked with John, and John lost 30 pounds, and who's your trainer? And all of a sudden everybody's come in, and now their financial planners come in, and it's endless. We had the orthopedic group in here. It's just endless, the amount of referrals that came in because I worked with that one CPA.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. Now, obviously, the referrals are huge for you. Is there anything that you do to try and get people to refer you, or is it just automatic?
No, it's automatic. It's really about results. When a client comes up to you and says, "I love your program. I've never had a better workout. I've never felt better. However, I haven't lost any weight." Well, what do you do? It's not the program. It's all about the food. Everyone knows it's all about the food. It's really about the food. So to improve the quality of your life today, what do you have to do in regards to your eating pattern? So we sit down and we talk about it. Let's go over your eating pattern, because you're doing all the right things. You're making it 3 times a week. You're walking around the block on your own. You're hiking with the kids on the weekend, but you're not losing weight. So let's figure it out. And if it's nothing to do with blood lipid profiles and adrenaline levels and thyroid and things of that nature, if it's outside of that realm, then it has to be the way you're eating. So we sit down, we do something about it. You follow a pattern. All of a sudden they lose 2 pounds. All of a sudden they lose 4 pounds. We basically take an interest in our client, other than thinking they're a membership or they're going to, they're just a series of 18 visits. And when that happens, that's the key. That's the key that unlocks that referral door. They start telling their friends, or their friends notice. Gee, you look different, Cindy. What have you been doing? I changed my diet and I hired a trainer. Oh, I want to do that. It's really that simple.
Okay. You did say you did try direct response marketing and advertising. Why do you think that hasn't worked for you?
I tried it by zip code. I tried it by, people who make $100,000 or more. in my area. I got no response. I spent, this is way back in the early 90s. One time a client came in from a cable. I spent $11,000, and you know what I got? For about 3 months, I was a celebrity. I was in every movie theater. I was everywhere. Oh, I saw you on TV. Oh, I saw you there. That's all I got. Yeah, you look good. Oh, yeah, yeah, I liked your commercial. What did I talk about? Didn't really listen, but I saw you on TV. We had, it was, bottom line is they saw me on TV. I didn't really make clients out of it. So I really stopped that, and I really said to myself, what's the backbone of my facility? What's really going to enhance the structure of my business? It's by treating the people you already have. You already spent the money and did your due diligence to get the people in the door. If they're in the door, why go outside the door? They're already there. Everyone knows someone. So you either ask for a name, or you say, if you really love this program, can you help us out? We need some warm bodies in here. Can you tell a friend? And even at that, we don't even give it for free. We still charge them. If they join the facility, we give them their money back on the way out, and they put that towards their membership. But again, that's a whole nother scenario. My thought process on that is we should never give anything away for free.
Right, right. Now, you mentioned TV and being on TV. I know you're great at getting amazing PR for your business. In fact, you're really good at getting on TV. What's the best way for a personal training business or a person to get on TV?
All right. This is a very, very complex answer. You ready?
Sure.
Get out and ask. Period. I literally walked into Fox. I literally walked into Fox. I literally walked into WTNH. I literally just walked in out of the blue, no appointment. I'm a local businessman, trainer, fitness. If you have any room for anything about fitness, I'm going to leave something. Then I call back. I asked for the program director. I kept hounding. I called once a week. I finally got an appointment with the program director. Okay? Met for lunch across the street, had sushi, that kind of thing. Got to know. Treated him like a human being. It was nothing fancy. Let me come on and just say a few things. Bottom line is I established a relationship. I took an interest. I showed them that I can, I can increase ratings. I can come on and I could help people. We could do a question and answer kind of thing. And then I come up with these ideas. Let's have a Fitness Friday show. And that worked. I did that for about 10 weeks. And then I came up with a program called Nuke 25. 25 pounds in 25 weeks. We did a 25-week program. I worked with a local celebrity who's a singer in our area. Oh my God, she just had a baby. How perfect. So she lost 25 pounds. And we followed it every step of the way. And we filmed it, etc. Whether it was on a beach, whether it was in a facility. And people tuned in. And then we went on the blog. So it really worked, and it helped their ratings. People were waiting to look at the 12 o'clock station to see what was going to happen next on Fitness Fridays. Then we developed a program called Wake Up Your Workout. What do you do? What are the differences between swimming, yoga, Pilates, strength training, whatever it may be? How do you wake up your workout? So these are just creative ideas that you just come up with. No one is ever going to call a trainer and say, hey, you got to get out there. You have to knock on doors. You have to be proactive. No one is ever going to call you to be on TV. Send your resume. Send your picture. Be a professional. How am I going to say this? Nuisance. Be a professional nuisance. Mm-hmm. Really. I mean, it's really about getting out there, knocking on the door and say, here I am. Here's what I can do. I have something different. I want to propose to you. I want to show you this. And that's what worked for me. I just went out there and asked.
Okay. Once you knew you were going to be on TV, was there anything that you did to prepare to make sure that you were, looking good and everything was going to go okay?
Yeah. When you're on TV, once you're on, the program director, they kind of give you, not the script, but they kind of tell you, this segment's going to be about X, and here's the questions we're going to ask you, and, answer them in 2 sentences or less. Unfortunately, when you're on TV, it is regulated. You're not allowed to say anything. You're not supposed to look upstage the host. You're not supposed to look into the camera. I totally went against all of that. I looked into the camera. I never upstaged the host, but I looked at the camera. I tried to get the point across. Tried never to have dead air. That's yep. Lethal. You can't go 3 seconds without talking.
Yep.
So, other than that, just provide, just be yourself. When you're on TV, just be yourself. The first time I was ever on, I was a little nervous, sweating a little bit, but after that, I just acted as if I was with a client.
Okay. And we're going to jump back to you having clients coming into your facility. You're based big on referrals. You treat them amazingly, just a lot of things that no one else is doing, but they're very easy. You have clients when they walk in the door, I believe you get the payments up front for their training. How do you get the prospects to pay everything up front?
Yeah, we've been doing that since day one. I did some research on some personal training studios prior to when I opened, and the trainers were telling me, yeah, we charge by the visit, and we charge 2 visits and 3 visits. And I said, okay, if somebody says they're going to buy 3 visits from you, and they're paying by the visit, and they don't show for their second visit, do you get your $60? No. Well, so you're just, I didn't understand that at all. I said, then you have to wait another week to get the same revenue stream. Didn't make sense to me. So right from the start, we based our professional fees on the amount of visits purchased. We discount based on the client's level of commitment. So I'll say to you, Eric, if you're going to commit for a year here, I'm going to charge you, you ready for this? You're going to love this. I'm going to charge you $49 a visit. $49 an hour, Eric, I'm going to charge you for the highest level of commitment. Well, what is that commitment, Dave? 100 visits. So it's $4,900. Tell me where you're going to go in the USA for $49 a visit for personal training. You're not. However, you're going to make a commitment all up front, and that's about a 9-month program. Okay, now obviously you got to put tax on that.
Right.
So but 49 is the rate plus tax, Connecticut sales tax. So that's the bottom line. So the more visits you purchase. So we have a huge sliding scale from 1 to 100. You could buy 1 visit, which no one has ever done, ever, in my whole experience in being a personal trainer. I don't know what they would think they would get out of that. So usually it's anywhere from 10 to 100. So we go 10, we might sell 30, we might sell 3 months, we might sell 6 months, we might sell a year. And that's how we work. And the more visits you purchase, the less you pay. Okay. And we have family rates and things of that nature. So they know the value of the service by saving and buying in bulk. It's just like food items. Sam's Club, BJ's, you go and you buy in bulk and you get a discount.
Absolutely. Is there any type of hesitations that you get when you're presenting your offer to them?
No. Look, if you have sticker shock, you have sticker shock. Doesn't matter if you were $15 an hour. A lot of people out there who are shopping around, never had a trainer, don't understand the quality of a qualified trainer. They don't understand what's good. They just, they use the buzzword personal trainer, and they'll say, well, I could go to blank blank fitness and get a trainer for, $30 a half hour. Okay. $30 an hour is $60 an hour to me. $30 a half hour is $60 an hour, and they're not going to start on time, and they're probably going to shy you 20 minutes, and they go back to back, and they're going to burn out eventually. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things in there, but the bottom line is there's no hesitations when you have an educated consumer walk in your door, and that's the market I go for. I deal with busy business professionals. Okay. I deal with people who have more important things in their life than a workout. So I got to make sure that efficiency is the byword. When somebody walks in my facility, they have exactly 55 minutes, and they got 5 more minutes to shower. So I take them through a 50-minute workout. They have a 10-minute shower, and they get back to work. Okay, so it's not what you do, it's how you do it, and that's what our program's all about. So they understand that 50 minutes with us could be an hour and a half with another trainer. There's no running commentaries. There's no talk. It's 100% service, non-stop transitions, exercise to exercise. There's no conversations about the weekend. Okay, and that's not what they're paying you for. Who cares about what you did on your weekend? I want to know what my client did on the weekend. So I'm running on a tangent right now. You're not slapping me.
No, because this is golden. So keep it going.
So I'm just saying that there are no hesitations because we really talk about service, customer service. You're going to get more than you've ever gotten before in any other facility. Qualitative, and that's what it's all about. And that's why. And as soon as they come up here, they go, "Wow, I don't get it. Why are you $49 an hour? And I used to spend $90 in New York City, and I didn't get half of this." So obviously we're doing something right.
Right. Now, if someone was just starting out, first 2, 3 clients, would you recommend that they start having their clients pay everything up front?
Yes, most definitely. Absolutely, without a doubt. If you get into that situation where you're having people pay by the week that's going to be your revenue stream. Your revenue stream is by the week. They're going to cancel. They're going to run late. You're not going to get your payment. Bottom line is, what you can do is you can say this. You could say, look, I'm going to charge you for 10 up front because you're going to save $5 a visit if you buy 10 up front. I'm going to give you a very reasonable cancellation fee. See, I don't have a 24-hour cancellation fee. Think about my clientele. My clientele are busy business professionals. My client gets to the office at 8:30. Something that comes across their desk. It doesn't come across their desk by 9 o'clock, but I give them till 10 o'clock. So they have till 10 o'clock in the morning to cancel if they're coming in at night. See, I give them that extra hour to see how their day's unfolding. And the night people, they have to cancel, or the morning people have to cancel 6 p.m. the night before. So something comes across your desk 5 o'clock at night, and you have a 6 a.m., 7 a.m. here at Results Plus. You call at 6 o'clock at night, the night before your appointment, the next day, you cancel, you don't get charged. The trainer has a waiting list of clients that want to come in that time anyway, so I usually fill their slot. So I have a very closed gap, I call it, cancellation fee. They love it. They love the cancellation fee. So when you encompass a beautiful cancellation fee that doesn't make them feel uncomfortable, because no one knows their hours when they get in, especially a busy business professional, and you have a great rate, and you have a savings by buying everything up front, they really have nothing to complain about.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So we've covered finding location, opening, bringing in clients. Here's the real important part, keeping them. You have a really high retention rate. What's your retention rate around?
All right. I'm not bragging. It's about honestly, it's about 90%. I'm not exaggerating. The clients here have been here 10 to 12 years.
Wow.
For instance, a woman just approached the front desk. Let me tell you how great it is. This is going to knock your socks off. We keep track of the client's visits. Okay, we know obviously if they bought 40 visits that they're on 32 of 40. That's common sense. You got to know that. So they're so good at it. They come up to us and say, "I have 3 visits left," and we go, "Oh, let me check." And obviously they do. "Hey, I'd like to prepay, get this on my Visa card because of my billing cycle, blah, blah, blah." And they throw their card at us and they buy another 40 visits. I have people that do that. I'd say 60% of our clients, we never, ever have to ask for a renewal.
That's awesome.
They just approach the desk. They've been here 10 years, 12 years. They're not going to get this kind of service. They're not going to get this kind of rate. I mean, they get the same rate. They probably pay $5 more at a fitness center and get, rent-a buddies taking them, setting a pin on a machine while they check their cell phones and drink out of their, water jugs. That's the kind of trainer they get in the gyms. So the bottom line is, 90% all day long.
Awesome. Now, you talked about a bunch of the reasons before is, customer service, but is there anything, I want to know some examples of things that you do so that they can stay and they keep coming back to you. What are you doing to keep them so long?
Oh, wow. Oxymoron. The recipe for a better business is a balanced mix of trainers being great listeners. That's why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Right.
Understanding their needs. Let me preface, not wants. Huge difference. Understanding their needs and not wants. Everybody wants something, but we as professionals know what they really need in the chain of events to lead to that objective. So it's really teaching them and educating them on what they really need. Somebody comes in and says, "I want to do this, I want to do that," and we say, "Well, you really need to start here," and they understand it and they value that. Having the application knowledge is a plus to enhance the client's life. And that's really what it's all about. It's the focus is always on them and only them the entire the entire 50 minutes. There's no running commentary. It's not about you. You leave anything at home, you just leave there, and you really just focus on the client and you focus on the service. And I could tell you this right now, do not be 30 seconds late. You are on the top of the floor. I love these trainers who go, "Hey, go work out, go warm up, I'll be right with you," as they run in the back room to get their ground turkey and make their coffee. I don't get it. if a client's paying $1.50 a minute, figure it out, and you tell them go warm up,
Yeah.
no. If a trainer gets out there top of the hour and never ever is late, literally the bell rings at top of the hour, that's what they're paying for. Their appointment's at 10. You've got to be with them at 10. All right. And you do a dynamic warm up with them. Let them walk a treadmill. What is that? I don't get it. Do a dynamic warm up with them. Do something, whatever it may be specific to their present condition, but do the warm up with them. One on one personal training is not leaning on a treadmill watching your client warm up. So, you don't think of these things, Eric. No one does, but these small little things, my trainer's with me every step of the way, the right way. When people do that, man, there's no one that's going to touch you. That's what I call a requested trainer. Now, Eric, you're requested. Clients start requesting. You don't have to sell your services. You don't have to run around the floor and sell your services. You are requested. There's no one better than that trainer because of the service you provide.
You mentioned before, and I know this, that you built your client base by educating yourself on how the body works and, as you mentioned before, being a professional friend and listener. What do you think is more important, being a friend and a listener, or having the knowledge and applying it so you get the results for the clients?
It's a very good question. I'm going to say probably, well, I'm going to have to say it's a balance and a mix of both.
Okay.
Definitely listening and understanding. Again, I think it's the same answer I gave you about understanding the needs and the wants and having the application knowledge is probably, I'd say a 50-50 of both.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, if someone is just starting out, the funds are low, what are the types of things they can do to build the atmosphere and that feeling and deliver the things that you've been talking about?
That's easy. I had absolutely no budget when I opened up. Here's what I did. I had a towel. Here's something different. A client comes in and think about a gym or fitness center. You walk onto the floor and it's very open, very spacious. There's equipment everywhere. People are walking around. So you're kind of walking into what I call like a banquet hall, and everything is provided for you. In a private setting, you walk in and it's like walking into a small function, not knowing anyone. You feel a little uncomfortable. So what we do is we have a personalized water bottle, whether it's a Poland Spring bottle or, today obviously we have our own designed water bottles that are engraved with our logo and information about our business and our website. And we also have their name on it. So when a client walks in with a low budget, just have a towel, it's like a sweat towel, and a water bottle waiting somewhere on the floor for them, whether it's on an elliptical, whether it's on a treadmill, whether it's near a plyo box or a step, something. And then when they come in, we call it the greet and meet. We always greet and meet. When they come in, hey Diane, how are you today? Ready for a great workout? I have your water bottle and towel. Don't forget now, this is like 5 of 10 of the hour because we have a 10-minute break between clients. We don't want to burn our trainers out. So the bottom line is, your water bottle and towel is right there in point at that elliptical. So go on up and, we'll be right with you at top of the hour. See, we're still there at top of the hour. But at least the client knows and feels comfortable approaching and going on a floor. So that kind of provides the country club atmosphere. You have, it's signature series. You have your towel waiting for you. The butler is there. You have the water bottle waiting for you, and it's on a designated piece of equipment, and they just feel so nice when they get up there.
When it comes to building a business, you think it's smarter to go deep instead of wide? And what I mean by that is focus on, in your case, like one location and then build it up, or have multiple locations?
I love the question. One is enough to me. That's just personal preference. I don't want to lose quality. Come on, you know what happens to franchises.
Yeah.
Big chains. Service declines as well as quality of the staff. So, I just like to really be specific and finite. And I have enough going on here. There's other revenue streams outside of Results Plus. This is the one don't forget, in business as an entrepreneur, Results Plus funds and feeds obviously other businesses. And other things that I'm working on. So this is the cash cow, so to speak. And I really don't want to lose the quality of that, and that's why I just stick with the one mothership.
Okay. Training,
Once you
since training in fitness businesses right now and everything in this industry is so competitive, you think trainers should start serving a smaller niche?
smaller niche. Give me an example.
Well, everybody's out there, okay, fat loss, fat loss, fat loss. That's a huge niche. Everybody's trying to serve that, but there may be people out there who serve golfers, but maybe just women
Oh,
golfers.
okay. Okay.
Should they focus more on a smaller niche like that, or continue to, dive into the larger niches?
The art of specificity. Again, that's really up to the individual. I mean, if you have a background, a great athletic background, and you're a golfer, and you know a bunch of country clubs in the area, and you became friends with the PGA professionals at these clubs, and they can send you referrals, or you can work at the club and do some seminars at the club and do some stretching for the members of the club and get into that golf specific exercising. That's power to you. I mean, that's again, you are cutting in my opinion, you're cutting yourself short just staying with one niche. But again, I really think that's really a personal question in regards to what somebody wants to specialize in. When you say weight loss, that's so general because you need exercise, you need proper nutrition, you need sleep. There's a lot of things that are designed around weight loss. But if you find your niche, there's a saying, find your niche and fill it. That's how you become successful. So find your niche and fill it, whatever it may be. I know that I'm working on a niche right now that's going to be astronomical, and it's outside of the fitness industry. It's related. It has to do with exercise, but it's for an industry no one's ever tapped into before. Another way of answering that is trainers should focus on out-of-the-box creative programs. They could call their own. Make it fun, make it exciting. Uniforms, well-groomed staff, professionalism. Taking a thought and developing it into a program is part of the reason why Results Plus trainers are successful. Again, we create programs based on the way the body works. There's no machine, there's no textbook, there's no video that's going to teach us how to train a client. Everything is again, the laws of specificity. The present condition of the client, what are we trying to do with this client? A golfer, let's think about it. Why not go into a postural program that's going to correct the muscular imbalances through the swing pattern of the rotatory stretch and spring of the golf swing, from the addressing the ball to the finish position. Golfers, massive rotation with a long lever arm, protracted shoulder girdle, okay, spinal flexion, anterior pelvic tilt. Think about what's happened to the golfer. So how do we correct that? So don't say exercise and training for golfers. Say, take 4 strokes off your game by correcting your posture, and do seminars on posture-related issues. How can we enhance the structure and function of our body so it performs better as an athlete? And then you just tap into tennis, golf, and you become friends with all the directors of these country clubs. Don't set it just on one. Call it posture. And you could also take that same information and take it into the corporate world. For everybody has the number one job in the world, a sit-down job.
Right.
So there's a lot of little creative things you can do that's just out of the box. You don't need a fitness center to do that.
Okay. One of the interesting things I know is that you have a personal training school, which I think is really cool. Where did the idea come from for that?
I could honestly say I've been to probably, I'm going to say 30 plus major seminars in the last 25 years. Some of these are 4 nights overnight, the big conventions out in California, et cetera, et cetera. And they're all the same. They're basically all the same. Now, the education are phenomenal. I've learned quite a bit with a lot of organizations, but I never learned application. So I created a school that was 100% application. There are no sit down. There are no classes, so to speak. There's textbooks, but it's just information of stuff we're going to do on the floor. From the minute you walk into the seminar, 6 hours, let's say it's a weekend seminar, 6 hours on Saturday, 6 hours on Sunday, We offer 1.4 CECs. It's FitProsPersonalTrainingschool.com. And the name of the business is FitPros Personal Training School, obviously. Right from the start, when you walk in, we immediately start to talk about the bones, talk about the joints, talk about the muscles. From there, we go right into application. But when we talk about the bones, the joints, and the muscles, to make it simple, we talk about how they articulate with one another during certain exercises. So right out of the gate, we go right into an overhead press, let's say. And we talk about why we would not want to do a typical seated overhead press with a human being. And the reasons for shoulder impingement syndrome, external rotation, the weakest position of the glenohumeral joint with the weight at its heaviest. And then again, what is it really focusing on besides the anterior delt? There's so many different ways to train for the scaption movement or the front raise with a long lever arm to not translate all these internal forces in that area. So we get right into application. And then we talk about, specificity of the individual depending on their environment, genetics, environment, all these things play factors. So right from the start, it's hands-on. It's a hands-on school. That's kind of how we started it. And trainers love it because the trainers always go to these schools and they just learn textbook.
Right.
What do you do with that? Seriously, it's nice to know. It's nice to know about, the pec attaches to the sternum, the clavicle, the lateral lip of the bicipital groove, and the lower rib. Okay, now what? Am I going to train the pec doing a straight bar bench press? No, absolutely not. 40% EMG study. 10% goes through the hand. It's mostly tricep. There's no horizontal shoulder adduction. So how are we going to do this with a client? And why would we do this with a client who's seated all day? Don't we want to retract and strengthen the postural muscles of the upper back? So there's a lot of things that are going on where trainers are just developing exercise programs based on knowing a machine or knowing how it feels to them. It's not structured. So we teach our students how to structure the programs, create and design exercises specifically for the present condition of the client versus what a textbook might say what a range of motion is or what an exercise does.
Okay. Yep. Now you had said you go on all these conferences and everything. Some are a day or a couple days long. How long is your school? Like how long are people with you so that they can understand and come out knowing everything they need to know?
We have two sides of the coin. We get a lot of local trainers that call. We do one-on-ones right here. So one person might join for, let's say, 12 hours. Another student might join for 20 hours of lessons, hands-on lesson plans. Now, let's just take the 12-hour for an example. Somebody come in for 12 hours. They have 12 one-on-one sessions with the director of education or myself. During that 12 hours, he's here 24/7. He makes his own hours. He shadows all day long. He hangs out with the trainers. He asks questions. He trains with us. Now, during that time, 1 hour will be dedicated to him, one of the 12, where we'll go over everything vertical. So today is about the lats, everything vertical or everything horizontal. So we go over those movement patterns, whether it's, bilateral, whether it's, whatever type of exercise we're going over. When would we do it? Why would we do it? What environment would we do it in? And that's basically what it is. Now, on the other side of the coin, a fitness center out in Massachusetts will hire us for the entire weekend. So we'll do 6 hours,
Okay.
a total of 12 hours, 6 hours on a Saturday, 6 hours on a Sunday.
Okay. That's definitely something that's very different that I don't know and many other people are doing, so that's very commendable of you.
Yeah, we don't teach book or class settings. We create real-life examples.
And that's cool because that's what it means. Like you said, everything is, most places is theory, and then once you get out there, you don't know how to act in the real world.
Right. It's funny. Most people, most trainers that we meet follow someone's experimental or subjective opinion. And these opinions are based on a feeling, a sensation. How far can your buddy push or pull a load? It's far from the truth. In conclusion, we identify the truth with our students. So we don't dismiss the science behind true joint articulation. There's nothing new under the sun, but people try to change anatomy. We change anatomy based on the way it feels. That's the problem with this industry. The truth is that exercise is below the skin. It's where the muscles, joints, tendons, ligaments experience all these internal forces. That's what really encompasses an exercise. It's not seeing, most people just see pieces of skin moving in the gym. They do side raises up to the ceiling. I don't get that at all with the small arch, with the swing sets, they call them. So, it's very difficult in this industry because many people think they already know what they need to know about exercise. And that's really what's hard to explain to people.
Yeah, that's the scary thing too. When you think you know everything, then it's time to step away.
Yeah, they have a just do it philosophy.
Yeah.
My guru could beat up your guru or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We often dismiss the science completely and take a myth or misinformation instead of presenting the recommendations. So, this again alters the exercise performance and screws up the individual. We take, you have perfect posture and a trainer shows you improper exercise techniques, you have faulty movement patterns and joint pain. So any which way you slice it, it's the same. So right from the start, we teach why it's so important, to do corrective exercise programming with someone if they need it prior to starting an exercise program. But guess what? Those corrective exercises that we do with our clients still are building muscle and burning calories, and we just disguise it. The clients don't know we're doing it.
Right.
We just do the right exercises that's going to correct their body and get them back into that neutral alignment.
Right. Now let's dive into just one other area that I know throughout this whole interview we're talking about. There's one theme that keeps coming off, and that's you have a certain mindset. It's the mindset that you are going to be successful, that you expect success. Since you're running such a successful facility, it takes that kind of mindset to reach that level. For you, how did you develop that mindset to get to that level?
You know what? Passion, the ability to believe in yourself. I believe in what I do, and I repeat it. I look in the mirror, I say it. I understand the needs of my staff. That's another quality. That's the kind of mindset you need. And of course, without a doubt, I'll tell you one thing as far as a mindset, the client is always right, period. I mean, I can't say that enough.
Oh,
they could take their money elsewhere, fire everybody, and hire somebody else. So I think it's really about passion and the ability to believe in yourself is kind of the mindset I have. Keeping a proactive attitude. I built that right mindset. They say you're not born with it, but it's an anomaly that I was born with. I always wanted to do something that was different, out of the box. And even though when you look at the industry of personal training, if you came in here and saw our facility and saw the way we train, I would probably like to think that you would say, I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen this kind of training. I've never seen this kind of staff. I've never seen the way you guys move with your clients and interact with your clients. It's borderline amazing. And I say that with confidence, not cockiness. I say it because it's 26 years of just putting this puzzle together, and shaving it and just making those pieces fit properly.
Very cool. Were you like that even when you first started, when you opened up and funds were tight and you didn't have any money coming in? Were you just like, I know I'm gonna be successful and this is what it is?
Yeah, man, I was right from the start. For me, it's about always thinking positive. There's you've heard of the scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
The abundant mindset.
Right.
The scarcity mindset is lazy, and when times are great, they tend to relax. Like, for instance, typical situation. Oh, I made $25,000 in revenue this week. Let's go out. Let's close early. Let's leave early. No. The abundant mindset is proactive and multitasking. Always looking for the new avenue to travel. It creates out-of-the-box concepts that no one else can match. So when I have a great revenue week, as an example, I'll give you an example. Today's Monday.
Right.
We've already taken in 10,000. Okay, so we had just two renewals. That's 2 people came up and renewed. So I'm not holding back. I'm going to go check my referrals. I'm going to make some phone calls. I'm going to send some wellness newsletters. I'm going to see if I could do a talk next week. I don't have the attitude that I made 10. It's cool. I just paid for payroll. It's not good enough. That's why we've been here 26 years. So you really have to keep a proactive attitude regardless of how well you're doing.
Very cool. Well, we're going to wrap up now. We're going to close a couple last questions that I have for you. I want to know what your biggest failure was and what did you learn from it?
Flat roof, man. Flat roof on my building. I'm being serious. That's a half truth. You know what it is, Eric? For me, it's I have an amazing staff. My guys they're like family, and there is a fine line. You don't want to cross it. You don't want to become too close because they don't get respect after that. But I'm close enough. But on over and above that, I have an amazing manager who's been with me for 8 years, which I am sure, without a doubt, is going to be in my shoes within the next 3 to 4 years, right here. So I think for me, to answer that in a nutshell, is responsibility and provide more faith that my business won't crumble if I leave. I've been doing a lot of stuff in Italy, in Tuscany, and Rome. I've been doing a lot of stuff outside of the country, which has been a great opportunity for me. And when I leave, I have to leave 10 days at a time. I'm always thinking when I get back, my facility is not going to be here. Right. So I think it's really about letting go of responsibility and understanding that there are people that can do a good enough job to keep the process moving forward.
You talked about it before. You're a big believer in passion and desire. You think that's the biggest reason for your success?
Yeah. Let me see if I could piece some words together for you. It starts. Think about the first time I think about the first time I started thinking about this. It starts with what? A dream. You dream about it. You become a visionary. You visualize. And the dream helps desire. Desire creates the passion. And then all of a sudden you formulate this plan. And you carefully plan and become proactive. So now you're taking the necessary steps to get that dream to become reality. Then, you mold, you nurture, you groom the actions to develop that dream that we saw right from the start, being that visionary that we desired. And it's a full circle, and it just keeps going. So as long as you have that passion, as long as you have that desire, and you follow it up with an action, and you continue to have a proactive attitude, which determines your altitude. We've heard all these things, but it's so true. It might sound corny, it might sound cliche, but it's true. If you're always thinking positive, and you always want to improve the quality of your life, whether it's for personal reasons or business reasons, you will always be successful.
Very cool. I think we're going to wrap up on that. That was a great point to end on. So I want people to know more about you because you're doing such amazing things. Is there places people can find out that information?
Yeah, sure. If you want to know a little bit more about Results Plus and the Training Academy, and then me on a personal level, it's just my name, DaveParise.com, Parise. The business name is ResultsPlus.com, ResultsPlus, ResultsPlus.com. And the training school is FitPros, with an S, plural, FitPros PersonalTrainingSchool.com.
Awesome. Dave, you revealed some amazing info here. I really appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck with everything in the future.
Thank you, Eric. It was a pleasure.